Hey, it's Barrett from the Gimpy Camper. Coming to you today from Norris Dam State Park. I know we've done one review on Norris Dam already. We did that on the west side campground. All in all, I really prefer that side, so does the wife. We'll probably, if we come back, end up down on that side. But I wanted to give this side a shot. I did drive by here last time that we were here just to kind of check things out and make sure that our site wasn't going to be horrible, that I had picked just based on a little bit of internet browsing that we did. And it's not bad, it's just more of an open feel. But you know, east versus west, they both do have some pros and cons. The cons for the west side, a lot of people in their comments on reviews said that it was hard for them to get their camper up to the campground because it's up on top of, you know, a little mountainous area. But I'd say if you're not pushing the limits of your tow vehicle, that really wasn't too bad. I will say, coming into the East Campground here, there's quite a bit of drop off on the shoulder of the road that's pretty curvy, so you have to be really careful with that. But as far as the East Campground here particularly, Verizon, we do have 3 bars of LTE, which was slightly more than the 2 bars that we had at the other side, but we had good service on both sides. You know, I think that the way this is laid out, it's just more of like an open field kind of feel. There's not a lot of shade except for sites 1 through 3 over here. 1 was a little bit shorter, so be careful of that one, but if I was going to come back, I'd probably stay in 2 or 3. They are slightly harder to get to because it's on a little bit of a loop. Besides those, this whole campground is one large loop, and then you have another large loop for primitive camping. You know, the sites are nice and flat. Some of them are a little bit shorter, and we'll go over those in a minute to kind of be careful of in case you have a longer camper trying to get into a short spot or something like that. You know, at first I was trying to find all the silver lining I could with this place, so I was thinking, oh, I guess if you had solar, you know, it'd be okay to be in this big open field, but there's power hookups here, so there's no reason that you would want to use solar, so that ruled that out. Basically, the best scenario that I could think of for staying over here on the east side versus the west side is, I mean, it's a lot of it's more flat. It's areas where if you were to do some group camping, say you had some friends that had an RV and they wanted to come with you, then you wanted to have, you know, 2 spots here and use this space in between them as like the community area, I think that would work out pretty good. But as far as just regular camping, I prefer to be in the shade a little bit, have some trees around, hang a hammock from. And we got 2 little saplings here, and there's no hammock going up. There's only the centerpiece to this East Campground is a power substation tower that's a little bit out of view of the camera, but I'm sure that we'll show that at some point in the video. Now the cons, like I say, there's no shade. It is a little bit cramped, and there's not a lot of scenery around here. And you know, both sides really are more, the other side's prettier just because it's more in like a wooded area. But you know, as with a lot of state parks, it's more about the things that are around you. You know, there's a lot of trails here. It's been like 90 degrees. I hadn't ventured down. There is one that's like 0.8 miles that starts at the beginning of the dam that goes along the river. I said I wanted to do it, but so far I've not got to it just because it's been too hot, and I've been a little bit too lazy this weekend. I was feeling a little sick last weekend, so I was kind of being lazy. So as far as the rates right now, the RV rates are $25 a night for power sites, and the primitive camping sites are $15 a night, which isn't bad. Side note is, some people still prefer primitive sites for their RVs. I don't think any of the primitive sites they have here will be a good option for you. If you're going to do some primitive camping, In your tent camping, I would suggest site P2, which is again another substation tower, but it's right on top of the hill. It's got a pretty view going the other way. P1 is on this side of the tower, and basically all you see is the campground from there. But if you're going to do like some hammock camping or something like that, you want some shade. Now that's another thing. If you go to P2, you're going to want a canopy or something, because there's no shade out there. It's in the middle of that substation line. Okay. Personally, if I was going to go to the primitive camping here, we got a maintenance man getting in the bathroom over here. You can hear him hollering. But if I was going to go primitive camping here, I would do somewhere between P3 and P6. Those are good wooded areas. And they do have quite a few trees that are robust enough to hang hammocks on and that kind of thing. As far as the RV sites, the best sites that I would pick would be really any of them that are on the inside of the main circle. We're going to be a good bet with. Site 7's directly across from me. I'm staying in 8 this time, and you know it's kind of open there, but there is some trees on one side, so that's nice too. But I did notice that a lot of the ones that were on the outside you have to be careful of, because of they are a little bit shorter. The short ones in particular that I made note of here are 1, 11, 13, 15, and 16. So you know, I usually tell you in videos the best places to stay as far as sites go, but these, I consider them, except for the ones that are shorter, I consider them about all equal. They're all flat. They're all have the same grassy field type feel to them. So that's about it here from Norris Dam East Campground. You know, we did have fun on the trip. We had some visitors and stuff come up, and this is a nice area, and you have tons of stuff to do if you are into hiking, or if you have a boat or kayaks. You know, the dam itself is a very pretty area. I'm going to post some pictures of that, as well as just outdoorsy stuff around here. It's just great. Tennessee State Parks, it's a really good system. If you guys not been to any, I suggest you check it out. Number one, it's cheaper than a lot of other state parks that I've been to. Number two, they are, you know, fairly good with maintenance and stuff. And if you check out my other video about Norris Dam West, hopefully the quality of this video turned out a little better. I do have a microphone now. I filmed all of it, most of it with my cell phone, and the audio was kind of shoddy. But as I pointed out on that video, our campsite didn't have good water there. I didn't have any water pressure. And the maintenance man did come out on Saturday to fix the water for us, so we had water in the RV, and that was pretty upstanding. That's another comment that I wanted to make. I can show you some pictures of the bathrooms and stuff here in the shower house. And the shower house here is nowhere near as nice as the shower house at the other campground. The other one had air conditioning. It appeared to be a lot newer. You know, this one, the facility's okay. It does have some vents in the sides, but there's no fans, no AC, none of that stuff. And oddly enough, in the campground here, as far as at the camper, the water pressure was way better than at the west side. But in the shower house, the water pressure was a little lacking. But that's all I got for you guys. So just take a look at these pictures, see what you think. See you next time. Hey guys, I just wanted to update you on one more thing. If you're looking for somewhere to put your kayaks in, there's a really nice state boat ramp access that's not near the marina. The marina is usually quite busy. Of course, it can be kind of dangerous putting in around the dam, and so I highly recommend it. From the east side campground, if you go across the dam, you'll pass the entrance to the West Campground, which will be on the right. It's one of the next roads. It's called Oak Grove Road. You'll actually pass some signs on that main road that say like thanks for visiting state parks and that kind of stuff, but then you'll take Oak Grove Road to the right and you'll run into a sign. Basically, I think the sign says state boat ramp access, but it's appears to be a lot less heavily trafficked. That's where these pictures came from my daughter kayaking around for a little bit. Just a quick tip.